Yes.
Yes.
Ready.
Yeah, everything. I'm ready.
Ready as
All right, so
Ready.
currently we are live. We are live right now. We have been live for 10 seconds. And here we are, as promised, the podcast that Backo and Dapperton do not want you to see. Pedos and Doxers expose. So what's going on here is that, as you can see in the description, I'm just going to read it out to you. A small group of anarchist YouTubers decided to investigate the SJW leftist community after accidentally coming across evidence that their communities were engaged in activities related to pedophilia, doxing, and mass flagging. The evidence they uncovered during the undercover investigations is going to be discussed in this stream in detail as people wait for the release of the data drop that is about to be uncovered. So let's do a quick check here. Everybody check out the stream and DM me and make sure everything's going smoothly. Are we running smoothly, guys?
I'm pretty sure we are.
Yeah.
DM me
Yes,
and make sure
everything is
everything.
going smoothly.
All right, looks like it is.
Clear
Running in
the-
full HD, everything running smoothly. All right, so let's go on with the show. Now that everybody knows what's going on, here we go. All right, so first, what we're going to do here is I'm going to call upon each and every one of these people who have been involved in these undercover investigations for quite some time now. And what they're going to do is they're going to tell you what they uncovered, who's involved, what they've seen, names, servers, things are going to be dropped in this podcast. Okay. You're going to finally get to hear who is involved. What have we seen? The truth of all the matters are going to be divulged in this podcast. And in this podcast, we're going to tell you what is going to be in the SAR Bomba data drop, which is going to be released 3 days exactly from now. So you'll have 3 days to bullshit and do whatever you want and debate about what's going to be in this and what isn't. But we're going to tell you right here what's going to be in it. And the people involved in the investigation, not all of them, but the ones who chose to expose themselves are here right now. 2 of them have labeled themselves as anonymous because they still don't want to be divulged. We still have people running around dragging data. How we did this is we created a huge dragnet surveillance where we just drug data for months on these people and sifted through and took out all the things that were worthy and incriminating. So there's a lot of accusations that we fabricated all this. That is not the case. None of this has been fabricated. And so the first person that we're going to talk to right now is we're going to give Iso the floor here because he's probably he probably has a lot to say himself. Iso, are you there? Can you hear me?
I'm here. What specifically are you wondering about?
Okay, so what I want to know is I want to know what you have uncovered in these investigations, who's involved, what you found, and what you're contributing to the SAR Bomba data drop. Just give me all the details you have. Lay it all out here. Tell everybody the truth. Drop the names. Drop the names of the servers. Drop the names of the people involved. Tell everybody exactly what you have. Just speak of the issue as if you were presenting the evidence before them right now. Even though we're not going to drop the evidence until 3 days from now. Just tell them exactly what they're going to see.
We uncovered about 3 Discord servers which are involved in this unethical activity. The reason I say about 3 and not 3 is because there are people still uncovering evidence as we speak. What we've seen is evidence of pedophilia, actively engaging in it, talking about it online, erotic role plays, getting really sick about it too, like talking about murdering and raping kids in an erotic role play involving the entire group. The 3 servers that we have, one of them is run by Thought Slime, one of them is run by Finnish Bolshevik, and the other is the quote unofficial lefty pool Discord server, which is I don't know if it's run by but Batco is a large member in that server. Now we uncovered a lot of unexpected things, and that's really that's the most fascinating thing about this, from what I've seen so far, is that we went into this. It's like an iceberg. We saw some stuff at the surface, and we some really fascinating things from establishing that these people are in contact with ISIS militants in Europe, and they're using ISIS to try and overthrow Western governments. And we found that, and we've found evidence ranging to they're also a lot of these small groups are a cell of an organization known as the Splinter, not the Splinter, but the Spartacus League, which supposedly disbanded in 1919. But there's apparently still small groups of it existing in Fourth International and lefty polls. About 50% Spartacus League today. A cell. And Spartacus League is an organization which has been to support sexual liberation, quote unquote, up to funding child pornography and pedophile advocacy groups and terrorist activity back in the day.
Okay, could you give me some names of some prominent people that you found directly involved in these DMs? Would you be able to drop some screen names?
Okay. Finnish Bolshevik, Democratic Socialist 01, An Actual Joke. Yeah, those are the ones that find immediately.
And so what you're saying is that these people are definitely prominently involved in these activities and these DMs that are you're explaining to me, from what I'm hearing, that you have witnessed people engaged in rhetoric having to do with a sexual undertone and a murderous undertone as well, involving children underage. Is that what you're saying that you've witnessed?
Yeah, well, that's originally what sparked interest into this investigation, was a screenshot uncovered from Finnish Bolshevik's Discord server where Finnish Bolshevik himself and two other people in the group engage in a erotic roleplay where one of them is playing a 13-year-old girl who actually is a 15-year-old in real life, and they basically murder and rape this child in the roleplay.
And we have screenshot of evidence and we have screenshot evidence to prove this that will be released in the Sarabamba data drop, correct?
I already showcased the screenshot in my response to Batco, but yeah, I guess we'll connect that with the Sarabamba files.
Okay, good. And what servers were most prominently involved in activities relating to this once you went down the chain and followed the trail of evidence? Thought
Slime server, but the overwhelming majority of the evidence comes from Finnish Bolsheviks and the lefty pole Discord server.
Okay. All right. So you heard it from him, and now we're going to go to the rest of the people in here, now that we've heard ESO and what he had to explain. And this is how this all started. We accidentally came across some evidence worthy of investigating that was posted by a few unnamed people that made us quite curious as to what exactly is going on in these SJW leftist identity politic based communities. And we didn't expect to find this stuff. I didn't either. I really expected to find nothing except maybe some groups of people doing things that, Antifa usually does, like doxing and flagging people, which we all know they do. I wouldn't be surprised seeing these types of people do those things, but I did not expect to uncover shit like this. It's quite shocking and disturbing. And I have no idea how far this is going to go now. We're seeing stuff and uncovering more stuff every day that's just utterly quite sickening. Just recently today, actually, we uncovered something extremely disturbing, and I'm pretty sure the person in the room that uncovered that is here now. Are you there? I think it's one of the anons that uncovered it. We uncovered a conversation between two people trading actual child porn on one of these servers today. Am I correct or am I wrong here?
Yes, that was me.
That was you.
I-
Okay. Can you talk about what you found today? And tell the viewers what you found. I guess in as much detail as you're comfortable to go into. This this is. Go ahead. You have the floor, man.
gladly. I uncovered things similar to talk to Esso. Mainly talking about Spartacus League and ISIS mainly, along with video footage of of the trade of child porn that is video recorded. But both my evidence is both screenshot and video recorded for both you to see, and as far as I know, that's it.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Did you just say that you have video recording evidence of people trading actual child pornography in these fucking servers? That there are people actually trading literal child pornography in these servers?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I have the video footage, and and yeah, that's as far as I know.
I don't even want to fucking see that shit. That is just fucking disgusting. Every day as we come across more evidence, I continue to be surprised as to how deep this shit goes. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with us. And now what we're gonna go on to Zaro here, and I'm pretty sure you're aware of the subject that we're on. Zaro, are you there with me?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, Zaro is one of the people who have been included in the handpicked team that I picked together to put this undercover investigation together. And all of this, I have to personally thank Filthy Heretic and ESO, for helping me put this together. I originally came up to them with some inside information, asking for their help to create an undercover investigation, and now these are the results of what's coming about this. So, personal thanks to you guys. And Zaro, go ahead, share what you have to tell us and the viewers today. Just go on about. Yep.
I like to say, one of the links that I gave to ESO, though is not new. It happened a while ago. Personally, it was a guy. Because if you don't know anything, I used to collab with this guy who's now known as Blaze on the right. Sorry, Blaze, and we used to make YouTube videos together, and we stumbled upon making videos towards Democratic Socialist 01, and we noticed how he is a stalker. He stalked our YouTube channels, and in a case that in one of his video responses, he took a snippet of one of our conversation that is around 1 hour in the video. So he had to watch an entire hour of us discussing shit to find the perfect so it means he watched the entire fucking live stream. Now the point was that Blaze made a parody Facebook account that didn't contain any doxes whatsoever, no personal information. It was called Deep Thoughts from Democratic Socialist 01. And it was mainly with fake rants on us three. And what happened was that DS01 and found this Facebook group parody account. It was not a parody account. It was more of like it was a parody account. It was not a stock account whatsoever. It was mainly with rants and so on. And he decided to bring a. He posted a statement saying that stating Blaze's real name and saying that I'm going to send a letter to blank school, his actual high school at the time, and if you don't removed his Facebook account and the numerous sock accounts that he has no business connecting with. Like, I made some sock accounts before, but Blaze has not. Like, he never once in his lifetime made a sock account. So so it was, and also it was another snippet I got from a guy named Delta USA who was on a live stream, and it was this guy named Manuel Show. He was a communist, but has strong connections with Delta, and he was in a it was not Discord. It was a private conversation through text, asking for Delta's knowing. It was asking Manuel if he known his employer, implying that he was looking for a dox. And Manuel actually was so disgusted because of that, he took a screenshot and sent it to Delta, and Delta USA actually made a video on it. So that's my leaks.
Okay, so let me reverberate here so I could be sure that I understand the facts that I'm gathering from you. Are you telling me that random people are coming forward and offering us evidence as time goes on, who are not even involved with the investigation that we've conducted internally, just in light of the fact that they know that we're investigating things? Is that what's happening here?
I have a feeling they know about our investigation. Why do you think they're sending out spies and trolling our Discord servers?
And that would be correct also. There are people trying to stop us from conducting this investigation. There's a lot of people that are quite mad. There's a lot of people doing an extreme amount of self-projection, like Batco and other people and whatnot. And I think honestly these people are getting mad and they're trying to stop us because they know that the communities that they're involved with and they associate with are full of these types of fucking people. And I just seen a YouTube comment in the live stream. It said, "I'm surprised that Blue is shocked to find this stuff." You know, I'm shocked, but at the same time, I'm not completely surprised, because we're talking about a community of people who find it socially acceptable to sexually and exotically dress an 8-year-old boy in lingerie and women's clothing and prance them around stage. I'm sure you guys seen that video of what is it, the 8-year-old Canadian transgender prancing around in a sexual manner on stage in front of hundreds of people. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that, and it's absolutely appalling and disgusting. So, I mean, am I completely surprised? No, but does it still shock me? Yeah, man, it's shocking and it's disturbing. I mean, I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised, but I am shocked that some of these people are this fucking sick. And you know, the thing is that now that we know that this kind of activity and these types of people are existing in these Lefty Pole servers and Thought Slime servers and Batco servers and this and that, if this is my advice to you, okay? If you're not a fucking pedophile and you don't approve of this stuff and you don't want to be suspected of being a fucking pedophile, then I would suggest to you that you completely disassociate yourself and your entire server of these people who are known to engage in these activities. Now, at the end of this video, I might include it in the podcast if I can open it up through OBS here, but we have some screenshots for you to look forward to at the end of this video that nobody's ever seen before. And these screenshots involve Thought Slime investigating in what he refers to like murder chat or murder talk. It's like this, what we said before, this rhetoric with people engaging in these simulated child murder rape fantasies. And they were engaging in this rhetoric on his server. And it appears to me that all Thought Slime did while people were engaging in rhetoric on his server in this fashion is warn them not to do it again. Well, he didn't kick them out, and he didn't remove them. And he just said, don't do it, stop doing it, and he continued to chat with them in a friendly manner, as if, I mean, to be honest with you, like, I'm not okay with people being fucking pedophiles, and if anybody comes in my server that me and Journey runs, Journey Less Traveled right here, Red as they call him, and engages in that rhetoric in my server, I'm going to ban them immediately. I'm not going to warn you. I'm not going to allow you to continue to exist on my server. I'm going to fucking get rid of you. And if that's the way that you're handling these disgusting people that exist in your server thought slime by warning them and not getting rid of them, you can't blame me for having a suspicion that you possibly could be a pedophile also, because if there's people engaging in pedophilic rhetoric in your server, and all you're doing is warning them, and you're continuing to allow them to exist in your server and not getting rid of them, and you know who they are, it's either that you don't have a problem with being around pedophiles, or you are a pedophile yourself. That's what it is. What other conclusion do you want me to come to? Okay, I don't have any proof.
I was actually
hold on. I don't have proof that Thought Slime is a pedophile. I don't have proof that Backo is a pedophile. What I said about them is that they exist among a community of people who some of them are, and they knowingly exist among them, and they seem to not really take as much action as they should to get rid of them out of their communities. And we have screenshots of this happening. Okay, so now you know the truth. I never said Thought Slime was a pedophile or Backo was a pedophile. I said that they associate with people who are engaged in it, and they seem to be okay with the presence of them and being around with them and continuing to communicate with them, which makes me have suspicion that they could be also. And that's a reasonable suspicion to have. Go ahead, man. What are you trying to say?
What you're omitting is that what we found was not Thought Slime like warning people. What we found was Thought Slime explicitly saying that the only reason he wants it covered up is because he knows that people are in the server taking screenshots. He doesn't care that people are doing it. What he's concerned about is it getting out. He made in fact, that's what he says in his server rules. He says, like, we have him in a screenshot explicitly saying, don't say that because people are taking screenshots. So he's not concerned that people are doing it. But I already released that screenshot of his server rules where he said, people are taking screenshots, so don't say anything incriminating.
Oh, okay. Well then you see the problem is that the fucking data dump is so big that we have now. There's so much evidence that I myself haven't even had time to review it all. Okay? But ESO and Filthy Heretic are the ones who are combing through this dragnet surveillance and taking out the incriminating evidence to put it into one file, which is going to be released 3 days from now, that you're going to have the ability to look through, and you could decide for yourself whether it's fake or real or not. Okay?
But also, I gotta ask something. You said that there's no evidence that Thought Slime's a pedo. Okay, so just to clarify, there is no recording of him saying he's sexually attracted to a 6-year-old girl, because somewhere I heard that through this server. I don't think it was from you. I think it was from I don't remember who it was from, but just clarifying that's not a thing.
Yes, we do need to clarify that. There's been a lot of people, like I said before, coming out of nowhere and offering us evidence, snapshots, hearsay, saying this and that and blah blah blah, and these random people that come from nowhere and say, hey, I know you're conducting this investigation, I have some info, I have something to tell you, I have something to give you. It's our job to take each piece of evidence that is offered to us outside of our internal investigation and determine whether it is factual or not. And there was some hearsay in which somebody came to me and a few others involved in this investigation and said that they heard Thought Slime say some questionable things involving that kind of rhetoric. I have not been able to certify whether that is true or not. So the only thing I can say is that is currently hearsay. I am not here to point fingers at people unless I have absolute evidence to prove so. And anybody that comes to me and says something about somebody, it could be true and it could not be true. Okay, so that's the situation. Somebody came to me who knew we were having an investigation and said that they were in a chat with Thought Slime and heard him say some questionable things involving minors and whatnot. Whether it's true or not true, I haven't been able to confirm that or not because I don't have a recording of that. And it was just a person coming and telling me this. So what we do in this investigation is that people come in and we follow leads, just like any investigation. We determine sometimes those leads go nowhere. Sometimes they turn out to be fake. Sometimes they turn out to be real. But each lead that we get and each tip from some person we follow and try to prove that it's true, or if it winds up not being true, then we throw it away. We're not here to fabricate shit and create lies. We're actually conducting a real investigation. So that clears that up. And now I would like to go on to Filthy Heretic and hear what he has to say. Filthy Heretic, go ahead. You have the floor, man. You've been a big part of this. Everybody needs to give like a warm thank you to him for helping start all this out. As far as the SAR Bomba and the incriminating evidence that you uncovered, if anything, to what extent are you involved in this process? Just explain everything that you want to say about, you've heard what we were talking about. Go ahead, man.
All right, thank you. So first off, I just want to say, like, I think you might be overstating my importance because I haven't really had much progress in terms of infiltrating servers. I haven't uncovered. I'm basically just building off of the work of all the rest of these wonderful people who I am absolutely honored to have a chance to get to know. Like, really, my main contribution, I guess you could say the contribution, is helping to comb through this information. And it is pretty unsettling, just what they have. But I've also been trying to get the word out, trying to market, trying to get this to the attention of a lot of big YouTubers. For example, Mr. Dapperton, a name I'm sure most of you are familiar with, and that big controversy from a week ago ongoing to today. So my association with Blue began when he asked me on a voice chat on Esoteric Entities server to help spread information he was gathering on activity in social justice, identity, politics, Discord servers. I saw an excellent opportunity to expose some shady crap, plus, get some extra views. I thought asking Mr. Dapperton to help promote this podcast on his huge channel would be a great idea. At the time, I did not know Blue was Operation Anarchism, an oversight I freely admit, and that he was the same person he had a controversy with 2 years ago on, what's the place called? The Great Hall. He was outraged that I would work with Blue on something completely different and demanded that I cease and desist in that relationship. He inserted himself into a voluntary transaction and demanded that I choose between either him or Blue. He took what was an oversight on my part as a personal attack and proceeded to mischaracterize me in the DMs and curse me out. I lost my patience and informed him that his time had come and that he was a stagnant channel. Now, I didn't expect him to take our little falling out outside of Twitter and make a whole 16-minute video attacking not only me, but Esoteric Entity as well, mischaracterizing us, slandering us, and continuing to spread misinformation that he knew to be factually incorrect. Misinformation not just about me and Eso, but Blue as well. We have proof that shows that most of what he's been saying is either true or things that he cannot possibly prove. He became defensive, saying that we're trying to claim that he lied, which wasn't true at all. And he lashed out in outrage, not just at me, not just at Eso, but anyone on Twitter or his YouTube comments if they didn't immediately go onto his side. I have a screenshot of Mr. Dapperton on his Twitter chat demanding that people take a side and they choose a side, that he's lashed out at some of his friends on Twitter for failing to choose a side and wanting to remain neutral. Now, I don't know why this is. I'm not a mind reader. I don't know what's in his thoughts. I don't know what's in his soul. But he's become very defensive as of late, and he's really began to associate with a lot of very, very shady people. For example, he worked with Democratic Socialist 01, who you might have heard mentioned in this video a few times, to work with to make a fake screenshot for the sole purpose of trying to make me and Eso look like idiots, which actually only makes him worse because it shows that he's not only willing to sell out to the SJW communists for $75, but is willing to do it for free against his own friends. Seriously, man, Daps, if you're listening, what happened to you, man? You used to make glorious content, and now it's just you shell out for Trump. You you do random drama videos, and occasionally you'll make a gun rights video, but yeah, you only have 3 videos, and then you just repeat them 3 times. This doesn't really have to be the case.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, and I understand that you have some hard feelings for Dapperton. I just want to let the viewers know that towards the end of discussing what we're going to have in the Sarabamba and going through all those people here, while they explain their part in that and what they've come across, we're going to get into the drama. We're going to get into the juiciness. You're going to hear my input on it. I know that you have it, and a lot of people are wondering, what's the truth about Blue? What is this past with him and Mr. Dapperton? What is Blue's fucking problem with the SJW idpol anarchist community when he himself is an anarchist that advocates an anarchist communist society? Well, we're going to get into all that eventually, and a lot of it has to do with me, Red, and what we desired, and the platform we created, and everything else. There's a lot to go into that. So we'll get into all the juicy drama in the end. I know you people like the drama and the headache that's going on. And yeah, I don't fucking like Dapperton. Everybody knows this. I'm not going to sit here and say I love him. I don't like him. But I don't want to get sidetracked right now. But we will get to the drama eventually. However, I would like to get to the rest of the people here who have stuff to share regarding the investigation. So let's continue to do that. We have now 70 fucking viewers right now, and the YouTube live chat is opening up. And I'm just going to let people know flat out, after this podcast, if you want to contact me for an interview, and me and the people who are part of this investigation, whatever, I'm willing to get on any show with anybody. I don't care what it is. I don't even care if you're my enemy or my political adversary. I will talk to you if you behave and act like a mature and responsible adult in your cohorting with me in a conversation. Okay, I'm willing to talk to anybody, do any interviews, anything. All of us are. Okay, so the next person I would like to address here is, let's see who we talked to. We talked to Zara, we talked to Filthy, we talked to Iso, we talked to Anon. Anon number 1. Baby Bunny, are you there? I know that you're at work and you might have to go soon. So are you available right now to give some input on some
I'm
things
free
that
right
you've
now.
uncovered in this? Okay, what would you like to share about this investigation and the things that you've witnessed and the things that you've uncovered and contributed?
So, I want to thank you guys for making me part of this investigation. A lot of the things I found in the lefty poll group on Discord was that they know there's a lot of pedos in there. They've admitted they know there's pedos in there and have done nothing to remove them. Another thing I found is that they mentioned age of consent in multiple different countries on multiple times, saying, well, you can go here. It's not illegal here because age of consent is 12, which is a popular tactic for a lot of pedos in Western countries to go to countries with lower age of consent so they can basically molest kids and not get in trouble. And it's very disturbing that that kind of subject's being brought up so much on a post or a group that's supposed to be mainly a place to ship post and have fun. And on top of all the other evidence, that makes it even more suspicious that they might be running a ring. I don't want to make any accusations until all the leaks are revealed, but yeah, with the age of consent being mentioned, them knowing of known pedophiles and doing nothing about it but laughing, on top of having known pedos in there, it just all adds up to make a disturbing story. That's all I have to say for now. Thank you.
Yeah, and we all know, based on the videos that are on his YouTube channel, the one who thinks that this is the biggest fucking joke of all and thinks that this entire thing is a joke is the person we all know and love to hate right now, Batco the Manarchist. He's made the most videos just completely laughing and dismissing this whole thing as bullshit. You think it's all fun and games, Batco. You think it's a fucking joke, but it ain't, man. And some of the people among you are very fucked up, and you continue to refuse to do anything about them and think of this as one big comedic fat fucking joke. It's just it's sickening that you would take that kind of approach to such a serious issue like this. And I would question the sanity of anybody who associates with you as well, given your attitude to the seriousness of this situation. It's pretty fucked up to go about something happening like this as if it's one big joke. Batco, shame on you. Seriously, you're a sick son of a bitch. And anyway, now we're going to go on to the next person. The Anon that I didn't talk to so far. Make sure that you guys mute yourself and until you're called upon. I don't want to have any feedback here. The Anon that I didn't talk to yet. I can't differentiate between the two of you because you both have the same name. So, which one have I talked to you? Which one have I didn't talk to you? Go ahead. I want to hear from you now.
Thank you.
Are you guys there? Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So, to start, during my investigations, I came across a multitudinous amount of supporters of drastically lowering the age of consent. Some were so drastic enough that they pointed to historical records of America where the age of consent was 12, expressing fervent support for this. There is certainly, very strangely, a multitudinous amount of people who are in support of lowering the age of consent to prepubescent means, in prepubescent range. Now, upon my investigations, I originally had thought that this was an isolated case. But as I continued my investigations, I realized just how far-reaching this was. I had investigated 3 servers. I had investigated the Socialist server, Finball server, and Batco server. Well, not Batco server, but the Socialist server, Finball, and another. And across my investigations, I had found one too many people, staff included, mostly staff in my screenshots, that had advocated and supported not only what Finball had did and had opened up about, but also what ThoughtSlime had did. There were a numerous amount of staff who had confirmed the, until then, rumor that Finnish Bolshevik was a pedophile. And they expressed no rebuke of such. In fact, they openly kept him on the server. Same with ThoughtSlime. I'd also come across in my investigations that many were banning individuals for dissenting opinions. And not only dissenting opinions, banning individuals for accusing ThoughtSlime and Finnish Bolshevik of being a pedophile. Now, this, again, in my original beginning of my investigation, I believed this to be an isolated case. But in just about every server I had found, there are one too many staff members that had openly advocated for this. Many people, most people, in fact, wanted the age of consent in America to be lowered to 16. Some wanted 15, and some even wanted 12. And this was a continual pattern, which makes me worry, as Baby Bunny had pointed out, if this is some sort of ring. Because this is clearly perpetuated across multiple servers.
So do you think that it's a possibility that there is a ring of pedophiles using the guise of the SJW leftist community to hide themselves? Or do you think that rather the rhetoric and ideology of pedophiles is congruent and can be greatly compared to some of the beliefs that the SJWs have, and that is why they are attracted to these groups? What do you think it is? Do you think that as some of the SJWs are pedophiles and they're running a ring? Or do you think that a lot of pedophiles have similar beliefs as the SJWs and they just happen to integrate themselves into that community? What do you think here?
I find it not within the realm of impossibility that this follows from the contemporary SJW thought. I mean, of course, it certainly, in my original investigations, it would make more sense that this was just a couple of SJWs that happened to be pedophiles. But an innumerable amount were pedophile apologists. An innumerable amount advocated for drastic lowering of age of consent. So I don't find it within the realm of impossibility that this followed from being an SJW. I think SJW culture certainly supports this in some sense, because SJW culture has always hidden under the facade of being tolerant, being supportive. There's been a rumor spread around recently of pedosexual being added to LGBTQ flag. I originally did not find this within the realm of impossibility. The SJWs latch onto a certain thing and dilute it and corrupt it in the name of tolerance and inclusiveness. So I don't think it's impossible that this certainly follows from being an SJW.
You know that I'm glad that you said that, because I 100% agree with you, and I feel the same way about that community as a whole, and that's why I myself, as an anarchist, has chosen to disassociate myself from these fucking people. I adamantly am against idpol, intersectionality, and all forms of identity politics. I've never been about that stuff. I'll get into a little bit about that later. But thank you for sharing that, man. I appreciate your contribution to this investigation. You're really helping
Thank
us
you for
a lot.
having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. The last person I'm gonna get into is my buddy Red. Red here is one of the people that I created this server called Intellectuals United, and the idea of Intellectuals United was to get people from all political and philosophical walks of life and ideologies talking with each other in an open exchange of information, where people can really get a hold of what other people's perception of reality is, and get along in a casual intellectual atmosphere in an exchange of free and open ideas. Because I'm quite interested in what anybody has to say, no matter if they don't believe in or agree with me or not. We'll get Red's opinion on this issue last, but right now I would like to get Robert here, who's been waiting quite a long time and quite patiently. Are you there, Robert?
Yeah, Blue. I have uncovered a few screenshots from the Finbull server. Here's one about who appears to you in mod, something Molotov. Quote, I was stupid enough, well, I'm quoting him, quoting Finbull, but I was stupid enough to join in a shitpost that people were doing, thinking it was just a harmless joke in an NSFW channel that was only visible for those who wanted to see it. It was over the top to be funny. Nothing that was meant to come of it. That's the truth, though. I apologize for making a rape joke, but those were the reasons I thought it was okay at the time. I was wrong. It wasn't mean-spirited, I thought, because of how over the top it is, but I shouldn't have done it. My only defense is that this was a situation that I got dragged into. I could have refused, and I should have, but my point is I don't go around making rape jokes. I only engaged this one time with one joke, and people shouldn't form their opinion about me based on it. That's all. Finbull. And he says that's from his Twitter.
Okay, well, it seems that Finbull's mentioned a lot in this. That's quite creepy. Now, another thing I would like to clear up is I heard that that Jason Unruhi is involved into all this controversy to some extent. Would one of you like to clear that up and explain to me how Jason Unruhi's name got dropped in all this, and what is his involvement, and why is his name being dropped in this stuff? I want to know personally, because I watch his videos a lot, and I like a lot of the content that Jason Unruhi produces. He seems to be dedicated to, what he believes in, and being an anti-capitalist myself, I sometimes listen to his videos, so I want to know, why is his name being dropped in these circles of information that we're picking up. Can anybody explain that to me really quick to clear that up? Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, one of you tell me why Jason Unruhi's name is being circulated in all this.
I actually don't know much about Jason. I just know he's a mouse
Yeah, so-
YouTuber. I just don't.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know
are you
what
the
relevance-
one who
Why,
mentioned that to me?
Jason Unruh's name got dropped is because that screenshot, it was given to me by Zorro, but it was also being talked about on a Reddit post. Specifically, it was on the Shit Liberals Say subreddit. That also got out to there, and that's what people were saying in the comments to that post, which they censored and locked the thread really quick because they were trying to prevent the spread of information. But you could still find that right now. Look up Finbull Discord on Reddit and you should find it. But anyway, somebody in there mentioned that Jason Unruh was involved in the server, and that I forgot if they said Moon Bunny lesbian, but that Jason Unruh has a 15-year-old girlfriend on Skype, and their Skype name is
Moon lesbian. Moon lesbian.
lesbian, but that's not confirmed, so we're not. I'm not accusing him of that. So just put that on record.
Okay, yes. So you could put that on record that somebody has accused Jason Unruh of what you just heard, the following, but I have not come across any evidence to prove that this is true. Maybe Jason Unruh could get on a video and talk about this himself. I would like to hear it from him, being that I am a fan of his content. I would hope that this is not true. Jason Unruh talking directly to you right now. I would appreciate if you could address this. There are people who have some accusations against you, and I would like to know the truth about it. I can't find anything about it. We can't find anything to prove that this is true, but I would like to hear your input on it. So anybody who's listening right now that's fans of Jason Unruh, relay this message that we're giving to him. We would like him to address this stuff, and if he needs the link to the Reddit post, we'd be surely willing to give it to him. Now, last person that I want to include. Oh, you have something to say, Zorro? Go ahead, real quick, before we talk to Red. Go ahead.
Yes, I was actually in Finbull server, and here's the thing: DS01 or Democratic Socialist 01 actually defended Finnish Bolshevik, despite the fact that he criticized Xeezy for making a minor rape joke. And they were in Twitter. I already provided the screenshots and everything.
Okay, so you're telling me if anybody wants those screenshots, they could go to your Twitter and see it? Okay.
No, the screenshots
okay,
were from Twitter. They were from Twitter.
Oh, okay. Okay, Red, go ahead, man. Let Red have the floor and explain. We're not talking about the drama right now. We're specifically talking about the data drop and the evidence that we're coming across, and how you're related to all this, Red, and how you got involved and whatnot, and what you've seen and what you think about it all, minus the drama that's involved. We're talking about the content of the SAR Bomba and what's going to be in it and what we witnessed. So go ahead, Red. You got the floor, buddy.
All right. What I found was I was looking around a Fortsline server and I found them sharing this plugin. Apparently, it's a browser plugin that allegedly automates reporting fascist videos. Now, what could that mean? It could mean anything. I mean, does it mean legitimate fascism, as in really strong economic regulation? The state organizes all these businesses to do what it tells them to do, and if they don't, it uses punitive action. Does that what it means? I don't know, because I found another screenshot from Fortsline server that claimed esoteric entities, pals, the people who like him, are Nazis. I found that screenshot. I've got it screenshotted. I could find it and record it if you want me to, but the thing is, I'll link the terms fascist and Nazi by pointing to one of Fortsline's videos. It's called How to Debate a Fascist. That's what it's called. It's called something like that. And I'm paraphrasing a bit here. I don't exactly know what the video's called, but in that, there's a screenshot that says fascist synonym Nazi. So to him, fascist and Nazi are the same thing. So basically, in that previous screenshot where it says, "Isn't it strange how esoteric entity uses like the an emoji of one of his pictures that I think Filthy Heretic draw is in the style of Filthy Heretic. He uses that as an emoji and says, "and his Nazi pals." So it's clear he's calling them fascists. So what does this browser do if it reports fascist videos of this broad a meaning? What does fascist mean anymore? Is he using it to mean a very small niche of authoritarian right-wing content? Is he using it to mean videos that advocate violence against other people, especially minorities? Is he using it that way? Or is he using it a different way? Is he using it to mean people who violate, "Oh, you offended me"? It's using it to violate the offended barrier. I don't know, and that's the thing. These people, from what they've done, have basically diluted the word fascism, the word Nazism, to such an extent it's meaningless. So when I look in their server and see the word fascist, it don't mean anything anymore. I see them sharing around apparently what is a browser plugin that automates reporting fascist videos. So it automatically reports what apparently is a fascist YouTube video, but I don't know if it's fascist. It might just be something that disagrees with what they believe. It might be just something that disagrees with their dogma. I've got no idea. All I've got is that. I don't have any context to back this up with. It's just something that says it's a browser that automates reporting fascist videos. I can find the screenshot. I can give you the screenshot. I can give you a video. I can record this. I can record this and point to it and say, "All right, this is all the context required." All I can't say is what the word fascist means, and that's an issue. A flexible term to such a degree is to the point that they can use it to mean whatever they want. And this is beneficial to them, not to anyone else, but beneficial to them, that they can use the word fascist or Nazism or Nazi as a weapon. They can use it as a weapon against anyone they disagree with and say, "Oh, well, your video is promoting fascism, it's promoting Nazism, it's a fascist video, therefore we must report it and censor it." And these people on this regressive left platform have been doing this for quite a long time. The screenshot I found was from about 2 weeks ago, June the 27th to be specific, from a person named American Johnson, who is a respected member of Fortline's community. He's got a respected role there. So this is what these people go on with doing. This isn't some new arsehole that came in here and tried to plant something. No. If it was someone who was trying to plant something, the text of the name would be in red. That's a new member to that server. But no, it's in green. And green means it's a respected member. They've got a role named Slimeballs. So something's going on here. They're trying to make a term very vague to the point that they're able to report anything that disagrees with them. And if you ask me, that's pretty terrifying. It almost sounds like what the UK is doing when it comes to Islamophobia, for example. I mean, apparently, if you tweet something bad about Islam, I mean, there was a guy in London who got arrested for it. I don't know why. He just said something about immigration, and that was enough to get him thrown in prison. What a joke. Honestly, I'm not even joking. I said what a joke. It's not a joke. This is true. Fine, this process of making terms more vague and vague. If you make terms more vague, then you can apply it to more people and thus justify censoring or even beating the shit out of more people. I mean, don't get me wrong, these people are supportive of Antifa. Antifa are a domestic terror organization in the US that I'm aware of. I'm not sure about any other countries, but they definitely are in the US, and what that means is they've been a domestic terror organization since mid-2016, I believe. Not many people know this. They thought they got called that after, but some investigatory journalism on this and found out no. They've been a domestic terror organization quite a few months before that. People were making videos saying, when will they call that?
I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to show some screenshots here we got to get a move on because I only wanted to do this podcast for about an hour, no longer than that. So let's show the screenshot here that I was talking about with Thought Slime addressing the people in his server about the rhetoric they're engaging in. Here it is right here. Here we go. Any more discussion of murder, rape fantasies, or instant bans, he says. What can we talk about instead, the other person says. So all these people are basically acknowledging that they were talking about this shit. And instead of Thought Slime, getting rid of these people, he asked them nicely to stop, as if they would, as if they aren't already, trading DMs of child pornography against each other. I think that Thought Slime was wrong to approach this in this way, and this is what makes us question exactly what ESO said is our suspicions of him, that it may be possible that he is also a pedophile. And here's the second one here that I'm showing to you now. People telling Thought Slime to take steps to protect himself and his server. A man here in Thought Slime's server said that he doesn't really have a problem with doxing, and he believes that dangerous people should be doxed. Their families and their employers should know who they are. So basically, I would question, what is a dangerous person to him? Just like Red said, anybody who doesn't agree with him in his rhetoric. So there's a bunch of people in Thought Slime server also who not only are having murderous sexual conversations regarding the rape and murder of children that Thought Slime is aware of, but they're also definitely 100% for doxing people who disagree with them. And Thought Slime, just hanging out with these people and not really taking much to. He's not really taking a step to adamantly be against what they're saying, and he's not saying that he's for what they're saying, but he is allowing them to continue to exist in his server, obviously. So that is just a small sample of the kind of things that are going to be released in the Sarabamba to show you that we are in fact not full of shit, and there are people who are engaging in these conversations in these servers that we said. And they do like to dox people who disagree with them. And they probably have a network of servers that are involved in this that we haven't been able to access yet. Who knows what other avenues they could be using to conduct their mass flagging and doxing operations and their pedophilic activity. But now that that's all finished with, and we got everybody's input on the Sarabamba drop, I would like to get into all the juicy drama. So I'm going to throw an intro into that, and I would like to say that, the small group of people you see who is here in this chat right now, and the people involved with me and my platform. Not everybody involved in the investigation is an anarchist, but the people involved in my platform, Operation Bluism, they're all anarchists. And the type of anarchist that I am is I think that the anarchist community as a whole is wasting its time fighting with each other on these economic disagreements that we have. And instead of anarchists coming together and forming a synthesis based on what they have all in common, which is being against the state, each and every anarchist points fingers at each other and says, you're illegitimate because you believe in communism, you're illegitimate because you're mutualist, you're not real because you're anarcho-capitalist. And I'm absolutely tired of all this fighting. Anarchists need to put their economic differences aside and unite together under one common cause and principle, which is to advance the ideology and understanding of anarchism in a clear aspect and remove people from the anarchist movement who are not anarchists, but they misrepresent anarchism, such as the identity politic, intersectionality, idpol community. That is not anarchism. Intersectionality is a liberal ideology, and it's completely cancerous, and has nothing to do with class warfare. And if you are an intersectional, you are not an anarchist. You're just a neo-liberal, a neo-leftist, and you're a your wolf in sheep's clothing is what you are. And I would advise you not to listen to those people because they know nothing about anarchism and they're not fucking anarchists. And a large degree of the anarchist communist community right now, that's all that they are. They are liberal intersectionals, part of this whole SJW community, or they're tankies in disguise. Anybody that knows anything about anarchist communism knows that anarchism has to be voluntary. So the only way to create an anarchist communist society is through the voluntary agreement of between peoples who agree to live under communism. And that's what I believe in. There was a famous argument between Bakunin and Karl Marx based on this, in which they argued about their positions on how to achieve communism. And Bakunin got thrown out of the meeting that they were having because he criticized Karl Marx for his idea to build a dictatorship to accomplish this communist society, and said that Karl Marx was crazy because his strategy of obtaining communism through a dictatorship would lead to an even more unjust statist society than already exists. And so far, Bakunin was proven to be right. So a lot of these people who claim to be anarchist communists are tankies. SJWs, liberals, are intersectionals. They're not real. And there's a struggle, a civil war going on through the anarchist community right now. You have people like Dapperton, who is a pseudo-intellectual, knows nothing about his ideology. As far as I heard, he gave a book on his ideology to his whole family and never read it, but claimed that it was a great book. He seems to create videos on like a TMZ drama alert type level. He's not an intellectual. He doesn't have anything useful to say or to contribute to the anarchist community as a whole. Anarchism is to anarcho-capitalism like Antifa is to anarchist communism. It's very bad public relations to have people who are essentially idiots, know nothing about the ideology, or are running around burning down trash cans and throwing rocks at Starbucks window. You don't want those type of people involved in representing you and what you stand for, and it gives people a more clouded idea and misunderstanding of anarchism than already exists. And literally fuck those people. So that's why I don't like Dapperton and the SJW community and all the other stuff. I feel that they don't represent anarchism, and they don't represent a better picture of what we should be doing, which is uniting against the state and putting our economic principles aside for that purpose, to make anarchism more popular and give people a better idea on it. Now we're going to get into all the juicy drama, and I couldn't think of anybody better to go to talking about this first than ESO and Filthy. It seems that you guys are balls deep in the fucking drama here. So either one of you, go ahead and talk all about that drama. You have the floor. Go ahead, ESO or Filthy, whichever one of you want to go first.
Well, first of all, I just want to point out, because you've been ignoring this, we actually have SJWs in the chat right now defending doxing and pedophilia. So they're not even trying to deny it anymore. Yeah, look at the chat right now. They're defending doxing and pedophilia.
Shit. What chat room are you talking about?
The stream chat.
I'm paying attention.
So,
okay. Yeah, I'm paying attention to OBS and making sure it runs smoothly right now. I wasn't even paying attention to that.
Okay.
What are they saying exactly?
Doxing fascists is good, and that the age of consent should be lowered and stuff like that. But either way, it looks like they're not even trying to deny it anymore. So I'll give them a little bit of credit for that. But
okay, well, at least some of them aren't trying to deny it anymore. But I mean, that just further more proves that we're right about this. Once we expose them, their only option they're gonna have is to say that they believe in that. And this is the problem with these people. Anybody who does not agree with them and what they consider to be the truth is automatically fascist. It doesn't matter what part of political ideology you are. If you don't agree with 100% of what they say, you're a fucking fascist. At one point in time, Red could say a lot about this. This community came after me and Red after we decided as the egoist and type of anarchist, communist, and individualist hybrid that we are, what encompasses the beliefs of me and Red here that led to us creating this platform. Once we divulge that to the rest of the anarchist community that we don't agree with intersectionality, we don't like IDPOL, we don't think that Antifa furthermore serves a generalized purpose to promote anarchism in a way that will lead to the public accepting us. They what they did is they attacked my website and tried to shut it down with ICANN. They mass flagged my videos. They attempt to sabotage our server, and they've been attacking us ever since. And the war against these people is fucking absolutely never ending.
But anyway, so we'll get back to talking about the drama that happened. Basically, Filthy Heretic explained how we got into this, explained the first parts of the Dapperton drama, that you came in, told us about it in our voice chat in May. We agreed to help because it sounds like a great idea, and it sounded very promising. So we did help, and now we have what we have today, so we were right. It was indeed very promising, and it was a smart decision. So I don't know. I found it to be very bizarre from the beginning that I made it explicitly clear that I'm not the only one involved, yet I've just been like a magnet for all of their deflection and character assassination. Like, they've said little to nothing about you and anyone else involved yet. They've just been really fucking just hammering me with it. So I don't know what that's about. But another thing that I found to be very bizarre is that proof of it, and it's very strange because they deny that what we're saying is happening, and in some of the screenshots, even, like, we have one screenshot where it's going through a whole conversation, and in one page you got one guy immediately above this saying that he had phone sex with a 13-year-old. Then you got like 4 or 5 comments down, you've got people saying that there's no pedophilia in the server and all the evidence that we have is going to be fake because there's no evidence. So I think they're alone. That's the thing there. So I don't know if it's like, I thought it was a deflection tactic, and we have confirmation that it is because we have them shots of them talking about this and saying to just keep deflecting, keep trying to assassinate their character. So we know that that's part of it is just a strategy to try and damage control what we have. But I think that there might be a little bit of cognitive dissonance going on as well. Like, they actually can't comprehend. It's a really weird strategy because they know we have it. They know we're going to release it. So why are they like claiming that we're lying and denying that it exists? Because it only is going to make them look worse when it comes out. In fact,
because they know they're threatened. They know they're threatened. They're scared. You have them scared as fuck, ESO, in the palm of your heads. We all do.
But it makes them look worse. Like, if anything, the smaller leftists who aren't involved in this community and who aren't involved in the majority of these screenshots shouldn't be protecting these people. What they should be doing, if they actually weren't connected with this stuff and wanted to disassociate with it, they'd be, from the very beginning, they'd start purging their servers and saying, hey, yeah, we're against this stuff. But they didn't. They didn't do that. Instead, they put all this activity in locked channels by the admins, which shows that shows that they're promoting it. They're allowing this to happen, and they're only defending the people who are involved in it.
Exactly. Their cooperation is evidence of and their passiveness is evidence of their association with these people, and they're allowing and continuing and empowering these people who are doing this to continue doing so. And via that observance, it seems to be to me completely evident that the SJW community and these types of people that I said I'm adamantly against have absolutely no problem with pedophilia or doxing or flagging or anything else. They're all fucking equally guilty because they don't give a fuck about what these people around them are doing, and they exist within the same realm as they do, and they do nothing to stop them. And I could not imagine
what I was gonna say. What I was going to say is that if they were innocent, they'd see this as an ex machina to try and disassociate themselves from people who are actually engaging in this activity and trying to say, yeah, we're not involved in this, but that's not what they did. All of them were engaging in character assassination, deflection, and damage control. So what does that tell you about their community?
Exactly. I think that ESO, that you've made a logical and rational point that they can't defeat. And you know, a lot of people say a lot of shit like you're stupid or you're not logical or you're not rational or they want to make fun of you. And that's just them getting pissed off at how radical and logical you're being right now. And obviously your points are solid and they're well made. And I'm sure that the viewers are absorbing and thinking and agreeing the same way.
Listen to most of them because most of them don't even try and make an argument, but and there's a reason why they don't try and actually propose criticism, because when they do, it's like very easy, falls apart with only light prodding.
By the way, I want to say something important, okay? There's going to be a lot of these fucking people who try to flag this stream and shut my channel down, and at this point, you can't stop what I'm doing. It's too fucking late. If you try to shut my channel down or flag my fucking video here, I'll just post it and host it on my website and people will watch it there. I'll give it out for free. If you try to shut down my channel, I'll just make a new one. I have the resources necessary to just keep building new platforms and doing literally whatever the fuck I want. So go ahead and try to stop me. You can't stop me. It's too late. I'm here to stay. And I think that's why they're coming after you instead of me, because they probably feel like they can't stop me. But they're not going to stop you either, because we're unstoppable at this point, and we're going to continue to do what we're doing. And
I'm in contact with some larger YouTubers who are all watching this, probably not watching the stream, but they're watching this activity unfold. And when we release the data, like most of YouTube's going to be talking about it. So if you take Blue's channel down, it doesn't matter because Mediker is going to be talking about it. Warski's going to be talking about it. You're done.
And I think Braving Ruin has also said he's interested. Braving Ruin has also said he's interested. This is the guy that took down Batco's buddy, Kraut and T.
Oh, well, this is like Kraut and T 2.0, like way worse than the Kraut and T controversy. This is way fucking worse because this involves pedophilia and everything else. What we've uncovered here is absolutely fucking amazing. And I'm quite pleased to have this kind of shit regarding all my political adversaries. I'm quite pleased to have this fucking information, and I want to see them fucking burn, but I'm not going to create fake evidence in an effort to do so. I'm just going to simply release the details of my investigation and let people decide for themselves. But I think that this community as a whole is fucking literally buried when we release all this shit. They're fucking done for. They're done. You're all going to fucking burn alive with this data drop, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it. And I'm the one that started it all with these people here, and you could fucking hate me and come after me for it, and I'm not fucking going nowhere. So come and get us. And if anybody else wants to say anything else, if anybody wants to say anything else,
that's another bizarre thing. They've been accusing me of They've been accusing me of organizing this whole thing and only attacking these people because I can't refute their arguments, even though I've made videos several times doing just that. It's really funny.
They're coming in. They're accusing you of organizing the whole thing, and meanwhile, I'm here screaming my lungs out that I'm solely responsible for organizing this whole thing. Are they deaf, or are they blind, or what's wrong with them? I don't understand.
I've also gotten that accusation that I'm the one who's been trying to organize all this, trying to discredit DAPS, and they've even had theories that say like I've been plotting this for 10 years, and only now is it just coming around. Yeah, really.
10 years.
What the fuck?
10 years. That's fucking funny. So. All right, I just want to open. I just want to say something real quick. I want to open up the floor for you guys to talk about whatever you want to say. I'm going to finish the stream at exactly 6:00, so I'm opening the floor to whatever you guys want to talk about. I want to tell you that the data drop will be released in 3 days. ESO and Filthy are going to be the first ones to make a video about it and show screenshots. And the evidence to the data drop is going to be on my website, operationbluism.com, where you could download it. and read an article that we write about it, and yada yada. That's where you'll get it from. So 3 days from now at midnight, look for that data drop. It's going to be there. Now, everybody just, we got till 6 o'clock to bullshit, so we'll close this at 6. It's 5:47 here where I'm at in New York right now, so anything you want to say that you didn't get to, go ahead. Open conversation.
The very fact that these people still are not ostracizing these people, and the very fact that they still defend these people is very telling. That they know what's going on and are okay with it, and it's very disgusting. Anyone with any ounce of morals would have done this by now, but they're still here defending these people, and I can't wait till this data drops and these people are out of the picture.
Yeah, fuck DSO1 or Democratic Social 1. Fuck Finbull. Fuck Jason. They're despicable people. They're just
Yeah. And you can hate on Blue. You can hate on Blue all you want, but just know that all of this information came from different kinds of people from different backgrounds and comms and capsule, you name it. And that it's video recorded, and that we have evidence that they've been doing this stuff.
I just can't wait for Democratic Socials to want to delete his channel. Same thing goes to the Finnish Bolshevik.
Especially with the thing I mentioned about the training of child porn video. That video will not be obviously posted for obvious reasons, but just note that it will. Just note that it will be dealt privately and with Discord and with Discord owners and etc.
Yeah, but
regarding the whole notion of anarchism and how it has been diluted and stigmatized in the recent years, there has been something of a document being passed around. It's sort of strange. I have been in contact with the author, and I certainly agree with the author on many points. And the crucial point is that, and most of us who are rational anarchists agree with this point, the only way to remove anarchism from the stigma that it's currently in is via disassociation. On the news, Antifa has been a mainstream media icon. And as such, people have formulated this stigma about anarchists in general, that they're violent revolutionaries, that they only want to stir up trouble, and as Blue has eloquently put, throw rocks through Starbucks windows. Of course, we need to relay the message in a rational, reasonable, logical method and form that not all anarchists are like this. Not all anarchists act this way, and not all anarchists hold these violent ideologies and violent dispositions, I suppose.
Yeah, let me just take a moment to reaffirm what we believe. So, all we want is a voluntary society where all social relations are mutually consenting, where coercion is simply not a problem that we have to deal with. And it's a waste of time for us to be going against each other for rather insignificant reasons when we're all on the same page in regards to we just need to dismantle the state to identify it for the unethical and immoral abomination that it is and the parasite that it is on the backs of society. What happens after that, we will determine that for ourselves. We will voluntarily associate and disassociate. We will form our societies. We'll be fine. But for the time being, we have to figure out how we're going to get rid of the freaking state. That is far more important.
This is an invite to all anarchists.
Exactly.
Anyone is an anarchist who wants to work together. Whether you're an ANCOM, you're an ANCAP, a mutualist, it doesn't matter. We need to work together. And it's an invite to anyone who wants to do this. Because if we split apart, we're never going to get anything done. But if we work together, we'll all have the anarchy we truly want.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. If you're afraid because you like Dapperton or Batco or whoever, well, you don't have to be. It, it's really sad to kind of see people who form these like little groups like who have to kind of carve out their own things and act almost like status in a sense where they don't want you to like voluntary synthesize or get along with other groups of anarchism. They want you to hate the other side, even though you're both brothers in a sense. You're both anarchists. And there's no such thing as this no true anarchist argument that people like to bring up. It's bullshit.
The collectivists aren't. I mean, they literally don't believe in abolishing the state. They want to establish the collectivist communists call it a worker council. I've heard it called other things, but no matter what, it's this centralized monopoly on arbitration, which can coerce people into doing things against their will. That's what the collectivist quote unquote anarchists want. That's not anarchism.
Well, you're talking about the fake anarchist communists who are actually liberal intersectionals that want to create some monopoly on violence using the state to reform policies. Yeah, they're fake anarchists.
Just trying to clarify.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to clarify they are not our brothers because they are actually not anarchists.
Yes,
I'm talking about the one.
And exactly.
I'm talking about the ones who I'm not talking about the ones who call for global communism or are closeted tankies. I'm talking about the ones who are actually care about anarchism in general, not full blown collectivists.
Yes,
and that's me as an ANCOM.
Yes, go ahead.
I was going to say, me as an ANCOM, I'm happy to meet people like Filthy and ESO who are willing to work with me, even though they might be on the capitalist side. That's fine. They can have their community. I can have mine. That's what anarchy is. Each community, voluntary, bees its own way. We all choose what we want. To force either capitalism or communism on someone is just as different. It's no different than what a state is.
And the funny thing is,
exactly.
Yeah, and I can say as an ANCAP, I am perfectly willing to work with ANCOMs to achieve our voluntary society.
I'd actually go a step further to say that in the society, ANCAPs for the longest time have already been arguing for, except maybe for the Hoppians, who aren't really anarchists either. They're just ANCOMs. But anyway, even in the ANCAP society, in a laissez-faire society where everyone is free to associate, that implies the existence of alternative economic models, because if people are free to associate in any way they like, then it's not primarily going to be a market-based system, because other economic models are going to exist as well.
And yes, and I want to put my input in here real quick because we're about to end soon in 5 minutes. The way I see anarchist societies as forming is either each type of anarchist society based on their economic difference can form separately in a voluntary association to build a participatory confederation like decentralized structure in which they agree to coexist together separately under their own economic principles. Or you could have an anarchist society where each and every anarchist is free to engage in whatever economic activity they want to engage in. And there's a huge difference between these collectivist, I don't think collectivist is the right word for it. I would like to call them intersectionals, because anarchist communism is supposed to be voluntary communism. It's not this tanky form of communism where you're throwing people in the gulags who don't want to be a part of this anarchist communist society you're building. That's why it's anarchist communism. It's people who voluntarily associate with each other and agree upon living in a society according to communist economic principles. In a stateless society in which they agree to do that. You're not forcing people to do that. That is literally what anarchist communism is. And if that's not what you agree with and you're an anarchist communist, then I would argue that you're either a tanky or you're a neoliberal intersectional. So this is the problem that we're currently facing in the anarchist community. There's a lot of fakes out there There's a lot of people who are just liberal intersectionals and parade around as ANCOMs when they're actually not and know nothing about the ideology. There's a lot of pseudo-intellectual ANCAPs poisoning the ANCAP community. There's a lot of this shit going on. And I hope that by listening to us, you're realizing that the different type of rationality that we're expressing than the rest of these communities that we despise. And I don't have a problem if you're an ANCAP. I don't have a problem that you're a mutualist. I don't care what type of anarchist you are. I'm willing to work with you on the base of forwarding anarchism as a whole. Why wouldn't I be willing to do that? It'd be stupid for me not to. I have a self-interest in doing so. And clearly there is a difference between us and the people that we're accusing of not being one of us, if you can tell. We got 2 minutes to end this. So I'll go ahead and let you guys have the last minute, and then I'm going to make the closing statements at 5:59. So go ahead. We got 2 minutes left.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, if you don't automatically aren't in like the cult of incomes, who are either closeted tankies or like intersectional neoliberals, then they'll just call you like a filthy NCAP or a right winger or a reactionary or Zionist or whatever. And on the NCAP side, if you're not in the cult of NCAPs where you don't believe in this in this like pure form of NCAPism or whatever, then you're called like a leftist or a commie or not real anarchist or whatever. It's funny.
Yeah, these are just buzzwords. These are just buzzwords to silence us and stop us from uniting the anarchist movement as a whole, regardless of economic principles, and having one giant synthesis that moves us all forward, which is what we fucking need here.
It's
and
time
in order
for
to do that,
anarchist.
exactly, it is. And
No, in fact,
and the reason why anarchism is not moving forward is because we are not working cooperatively together in a fashion that would lead us moving forward, and it's time that we do, because every other political ideology and faction and movement has their own corner of the internet with the public paying attention to them and taking them seriously, except for the anarchist movement. Unfortunately, all of you guys who have anything else to say, I'm going to have to wait till next time or put it in the comments, but I got to close this out now. It's 5:59. We're going to close the stream now. I would like to say fuck you to all my political adversaries sincerely. I look forward to watching you burn. And thank you to everybody for watching the stream. Please visit the website, operationbluism.com. Come to our server in the link in the description. Intellectuals United on Discord. Please subscribe to Filthy Heretics YouTube channel, Esoteric Entities YouTube channel, Red, the Journey Less Traveled YouTube channel, and my YouTube channel, Operation Bluism. And I look forward to dropping this data drop in 3 days. And any and all interviews that you want to conduct between any of us, you could reach us on Discord. If you do have an interview with us, I would like us all to be present at the same time for us to each have our say in this. Everybody who is working with me in this deserves an equal amount of praise for their contribution in this. I'm not going to sit here and take all the credit because I don't deserve all the credit. I couldn't do this without this awesome team of amazing people. So thank you, everybody. Have a good night and